everyone. Welcome to another episode of No Title Needed. I'm Cynthia Collins.
And I'm Scott Osborne.
We're your co-hosts.
As always.
And forever. And we are here at the beautiful Feinstein's Cabaret at the Hotel Carmichael in Carmel, Indiana, USA. And today, our guest is Randi Raff. Randy, welcome.
Thank you so much.
You are with, oh my God, it's a pleasure to have you here, honestly, really. You're with Indy Ignite.
Yes,
the
that's
professional women's volleyball team, right here. They play at Fishers.
Yep.
New Fishers Center.
That's right.
You are your community engagement, correct?
Yep, I'm the director of community engagement for the Indy Ignite.
Yes. And we were talking before we had, got on the air here. This is all brand new.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You were like third employee or something, you were saying.
Yeah. Totally honored to be able to say that. But yeah, so it's actually my 1 year being with the company in April here. When I got hired, there were two employees. One was our GM/president, MK Hughes, and the other one was Kenzie Knuckles, who's our marketing manager. And I also kind of affectionately call Kenzie our resident celebrity because she's a Nebraska volleyball player. She graduated from Nebraska, Yorktown, Indiana native. So yeah, when I jumped on board, it was the three of us, and it was just grinding away.
It's almost grassroots.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the grassroots efforts are unavoidable in when you're doing an organization like this.
Yeah. And how many? How many teams? This is, like we said, this is new.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying you were wondering how many teams are there?
Yeah. So there's currently 8 teams. Our season kicked off January 11th at the Fishers Event Center. We're coming into the home stretch of our matches. Our playoffs, the Pro Volleyball Federation playoffs, are in mid-May. There are 8 teams: San Diego, Vegas, Omaha, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Columbus, Ohio, Orlando, Atlanta. I think I hit them all there. And then
I wasn't counting.
Yeah, I know.
I know. But there's 8.
There's 8, and then I think Dallas is solidified for 2026 as well, and they're in conversations with 10 or so other markets as well. So it's definitely growing.
Well, I remember you were saying, you were like, okay, I'm the third employee, and it's just, this is it, right? And then you guys were kind of like, there was no Fishers. That place was not built.
Yeah. We were kind of selling a dream a little bit. They're the Fishers Event Center. While we did, of course, everything was solidified with us being able to, host our season there. Yeah. But there were not seats in the arena. So, what we were doing was taking season ticket deposits, and we didn't know exactly how many seats were going to be. We knew a ballpark, but yeah. So we didn't have a team. We didn't have coaches. We didn't have a front office at that point. It was just the three of us.
Where were you working out of?
Oh, we were
your house.
Launch Fishers was a really great kind of temporary home for us, and so yeah, it was just us in that co-working space in our little open air suite, and we were grinding away. But very soon after I started, we started to fill out our front office, and then of course, we started to fill out the coaching staff roles and of course players soon after. So super proud to have been a part of it from that time. But yeah, we were kind of selling a dream at that point.
Right. And it's Indy. Where did the name Indy?
Indy Ignite. Like ignite your engine.
Yeah.
Yes, the Indy Ignite. It's a nod to, of course, our racing roots. And one of the cool things too is our logo. And when I learned this, I was like, I like that logo even more now. Our logo is a ball with flames and a torch, and it's a nod to the Indiana flag.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
You were saying, we were talking about when you're playing volleyball on a collegiate level. You're playing in high school, then you go to university and you play. And then you were saying when, these women are down there, like, what do I do?
Right.
And they went to Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
And so your whole thing was
Yeah.
Getting everybody back home
in
the United States and getting it right. I mean,
yes.
Was that part of it?
Absolutely. You know, a massive drive behind the establishment of the PVF, which again is our league, is to create opportunities for women in this country to make a living wage as a professional volleyball player. You know, like you mentioned, 200-300 roughly collegiate athletes who were playing volleyball at a really high level would go and find a pro team to play for, either in Europe. South America's got some good leagues. Even Japan is a really high level league. So, these athletes were going all over the world to hone their craft and play at the next level. And so the whole goal was to bring our talent back home, give these women an opportunity to compete in front of their families, compete in front of their friends, be ingrained in their communities. And, I think to have a long, sustainable career as a pro, you got to love where you're at. Part of, some pro athletes are fine traveling around and going to this country, that country. And, I think to really want to play pro as a volleyball player, you had to want that lifestyle away from home. This is opening it up so that now the women can play in their own communities.
Well,
I
think it says something about you're playing in your own country. You know what I mean? And so there's a pride there, and there's a pride for the team you're playing on, of course, but they're all a part of making this grow. All of every player from every team, the eight teams you just mentioned, are all a part of making women's volleyball grow in this country. Because, as you said, this is the first year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the ground up.
Yeah,
here.
Totally ground up, and it is. Just to see the girls and young women that come and watch our players play, and you can just see. First of all, our players love, being the role model, that you'll hear them talk often about how when they were that age, they could have even dreamed of playing professionally in this country.
Well, that's
and
how it
now
was.
they're doing it.
That's how it was a few years ago with soccer.
Yes,
Now
exactly.
women's soccer is, of course, it exploded. And
Oh,
Mia
yeah.
Hamm, when they all those people,
Yeah.
when they were on that, that has exploded. That exploded a while ago, and now it sounds like women's basketball. Now that fever is like on fire, and so now it sounds like here we have another opportunity for young women athletes to continue.
Absolutely. And I think it's kind of, I think, worth a mention that we are just so fortunate to be in Indianapolis, the city. It's blowing up. I don't know how familiar you guys are, but, the Indiana Sports Corp has a 2050 vision for, Indianapolis to be the global epicenter of women's sport and on all facets.
No idea.
It's worth a check out to their website. It's so cool to be a part of it, and that's at all levels. So there's of course different prongs that go along with that. Indy Ignite coming in, at the outset of when they released that 2050 vision is, of course, we're excited to be a part of that and help driving it forward. But there's multiple other facets that's touching too. So it's a really, and then the fever, are you kidding me? We're literally in the middle, we're sitting at the epicenter right now.
Right.
For
We're
sure.
gonna take a quick break, but could you mention that website that where we could find that?
Yeah, so it'd be the Indiana Sports Corp website, and they have a big thing in there about their 2050 vision, but it's really interesting to look at because it touches on academia and all kinds of different areas. So
Awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We will be back with our guest, Randi Raff. Hey everyone, we are back. No title needed with our guest, Randi Raff. She is with Indy Ignite. They are the professional women's volleyball team. They play in Fishers at the new center.
That's right.
And on the break, we were talking about you coached.
I did.
And so how long was that? What did you do? Did you play volleyball in college?
Yeah, absolutely. I played at the University of Southern Indiana, USI, and went on right after I finished at USI, actually. So I've coached collegiately for about 18 years. When I first finished at USI, I started out as a strength and conditioning coach, and I was a grad assistant at Purdue University. So that was kind of my first I guess my first dipping my toe into the collegiate coaching. But after that, I was like, okay, this weight room stuff is not. It's kind of like the dungeon is not for me. So then I migrated back towards volleyball and had a long career as mostly an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator at the collegiate level. Most recently, my last coaching stop was the head coach at University of Southern Indiana.
Huzzah!
Great.
For you. Brava.
Thank you.
So all of you, and that's, I kind of thought of it, that you coached, and then the general manager, did everyone play? What was it? Has everyone played?
Okay,
Or
great
coached,
question.
right?
Great question.
That's
so
involved.
the short answer is no. Not
Okay.
everybody has played. Most people have played. Every single person involved with this project loves the sport of volleyball and believes that it's an incredibly marketable sport. And I think that's the coolest part about it. Our two owners / founders are volleyball dads, one on the boys' side, one on the girls' side. And so not only are they just incredible humans and have done an amazing job, but they love the sport and believe in what we can do in marketing volleyball.
So, in regards to your coaching experience, what would you say is the most impactful teaching moment you've had with a specific athlete?
Oh my gosh. That's
That's a
a good
That's a
question.
zinger, right?
Yeah. I mean, it gets to the heart of who you are. So I think he understands something about coaching. Gosh, I would say, what was the most impactful coaching and teaching moment in my coaching career?
Or like, I guess throughout, and what, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
throughout,
when did
and what
you have a deep connection with
Yeah.
another athlete?
Yeah.
And what was that lesson that was taught?
and they walked away with from you?
Yeah, so I think I would have to go all the way back to the origins of kind of like the little heart that I have for coaching, which was as a player, you go and you work camps. And you got these little kids, and some of them can hardly walk and chew gum at the same time. Others are like really great volleyball players. But just, I think what really grew my love for coaching, teaching, mentoring, which they're all one and the same, was going and working camps as a collegiate athlete and having that moment where you saw the light come on inside them, and they're like, you could just see their confidence growing. So for me, it's growing confidence in young women and girls. And then as I became a more seasoned coach, it was the mentorship side of things, for students who, they're at such a pivotal time in their lives when they go to college. They're figuring out what they're going to do or be for the rest of their life. And so as a collegiate coach, that was definitely where my heart was, and just helping these women, with that next step. And you guys both probably remember some of your core memories. The biggest memories you have are from those college days when you're just kind of starting your life out.
And some of those lessons aren't for the sport. Some of them are
Absolutely.
for life in general.
right.
Very much so, and those were the ones that became my favorite.
That's right. Obviously, you grew up in Indiana.
I did, born
So
and raised.
You're a Hoosier.
Yeah.
And obviously went to college and everything. Yeah. Why volleyball? You know what I mean? Like you said, you're trying to figure out. You probably played it before college?
Yeah.
Were you recruited?
Yeah.
To play volleyball.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Great question. Hoosier, born and raised, although boiler up, I'm a Purdue grad, so, and I come from a Purdue family, so yes, I'm a Hoosier, but I have to kind of put that in there. But yeah, I was kind of a jock growing up. I was always pretty good at sports. I'm originally a basketball kid that kind of fell in love and became a convert to volleyball later in my high school years, and just fell in love with the sport. I think it's just such a there's just so many facets of the sport that are difficult to master, and I think I was drawn to that challenge, having kind of I like to say I mastered basketball already, and then so I was ready to move. Total joke, I did it. But yeah, I think it's just such a fascinating sport. It's a very dynamic sport, and it is the ultimate team sport, because you can have the best attacker in the world on your team, but if you don't have a good first contact and a good setter to deliver that ball to your hitter, it doesn't matter if you have the best hitter in the world. So it's the ultimate team sport, and I think it just displays women's athleticism in a way that not too many other sports do. We were chatting before,
Right.
maybe women's gymnastics is one where you really get to appreciate the athleticism of women, but outside of that, I think volleyball is tops.
Who's the shortest on the team?
Oh my gosh.
Because they're all, come on. I mean, volleyball players.
If I
tall.
say wrong, they're going to be real mad at
Okay.
me.
Is everyone over 6 feet?
No.
Okay.
So there's a position called a libero, and Cindy, I think you would be perfect for that position.
I would be terrible.
No, you would be great.
goes,
You're athletic,
"Yeah."
you're quick. You just said, I'm athletic, I'm just short.
I am,
So
but
we
I'm-
would put you in the jersey, in the other color jersey. So when you guys come to a match, you're going to see there's a player that wears a different color jersey.
Okay.
She plays only the back row. So typically, there's 6 rotations.
Okay.
And you would rotate around in all of the 6 spots.
Right, right.
The libero goes 1, 2, 3 across the back, and then she goes 1, 2, 3 across the back again. So
Okay.
her 6
Never serves.
rotations. She actually at the pro
Does she
level she
serve?
does not serve.
They're good. Terrible.
But
terrible
so
at it. Things
pro-
are looking up for me.
Yeah, so a pro libero is actually perfect for you.
I got one more for you.
Okay, and then because
Where would you like to see the league in 5 years?
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Do you want to see it expanding as big as women's soccer?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
and now basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that our ceiling is unlimited. I think that pro volleyball, because it's such a fun spectator sport, whether you know the sport or not, I think that our potential is endless, and I would like to see more markets come in. Obviously, I would like to see just kind of a unified effort for the sport of volleyball.
I hope that happens.
Me too.
I'm, of course, pro all of women's sports. I think it's, like you were saying, it's young girls and young women can look up to these mentors. I think that's really important.
Yep.
And see what they can do. The sky's the limit. And I wish the league the best.
Thank you.
And Randi Raff, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
Indy
having me.
Ignite, women's professional volleyball team. And the season, I think the season's going to be over by the time you folks all see this. However,
Hopefully we're
get your
PVF
tickets,
champions.
Yes.
hopefully, and start looking into next season.
That's right. Season tickets. We're taking deposits right now.
Say it. How do they get them?
Go get your season tickets at indyignitebb.com.
And you play at
The Fishers Event Center.
in Fishers. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. And come on over to Feinstein, see a cabaret. Huge variety of talent here, and you won't be disappointed. Have yourself a nice little cocktail, a little nosh, and
They make good ones here.
oh, they do.
Oh, they do.
And see some wonderful entertainment. I'm Cynthia Collins.
I'm Scott Osborne.
We'll see you next time.